Hari Om Tat Sat. Good evening to you all. Namaste. So today we are going to I'm going to say something about a Guru tradition of Bihar School of Yoga. The main purpose of yoga is to contemplate upon and worship life. So Bihar School of Yoga was founded in 1963 by Paramhansa Satyananda Saraswati in Munger, Bihar, India. He was born in 1923 in Almora, Uttaranchal, and right from the young age of 6, he started having spiritual experiences like going in trance, etc. At the age of 18 years, he left home in search of Guru. And almost at the age of 20, 1943, he stepped into Divine Life Society of Rishikesh and met his Guru, Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj, for the first time. And instantaneously, there was a strong connection between the two. After some time, Guru Swami Shivanandaji initiated him into Tashnami Sannyas tradition established by Adi Shankaracharya, and he straightway gave him the title Paramhansa. And when Swami Satyanandaji asked him, after my sannyas, how should I live? What should I do? What is my sadhana? He just said one sentence: involve fully in selfless service and perform your duties. And the light of the truth will show from within. It will shine from within. So he worked very hard in Guru's ashram, and Guru often said that Satyam is doing 4 persons' work. He also gave him title Nachiketa. I'm sure you know about Nachiketa, a spiritual aspirant, highly evolved, very intelligent young boy of 10 years of Kathopanishad. So main teachings of Swami Shivanandaji. So our Guru Parampara starts with Swami Shivanandaji, and his main teachings, he was a doctor himself, and his main teachings are integral yoga. Not only Hatha Yoga, not only Raj Yogas. No, he said one must practice all the limbs, major limbs of yoga science, Yoga Vidya. Like Hatha Yoga, Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. These are the main 5 branches. Of course, there are many smaller branches, but these are the main 5 branches of yoga. And he believed that one must practice all the 5 yogas, and that is what will bring out the potential of head, heart, and hands. Head for the mind, for the thoughts, for perception, for intelligence; the heart, the feeling, emotions, bhakti; and hands, behavior, your action, how you interact with people, and how you perform your work. So there has to be full potential developed in head, heart, and hands, and there has to be harmony between the 3. That was his teachings. Like Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, Shivanandaji also talked about Ashtanga Yoga, which we call Shivananda Ashtanga Yoga. The 8 limbs are serve, love, give, be good, do good, purify, meditate, and realize. So in order to purify, so that you can meditate well, these first 5 things are required. He also stressed on yoga lifestyle and attitudinal yoga, and his famous kirtan of 18 itis. We will not go into detail of it, but I will just enumerate few, like simplicity, sincerity, absence of vanity, regularity, purity. Like that, there are 18 qualities which uh, a human being should imbibe to become a better human being, to find divinity in life. But for sannyasins, he's told them that follow Vedanta in your personal life. Because we belong to Shankaracharya tradition of Dashanami sannyas. We are Saraswatis. And so we always follow Vedanta in our personal life. But for society, just teaching Vedanta, Upanishad, etc. becomes very dry for them. They don't know. They understand, but they can't imbibe it. So you use yoga, so that through yoga, all the principles of Bhagavad Gita, of Upanishads, etc., they will be able to live. So for society, he recommended his sannyasi disciple to teach and spread yoga. Swami Satyanandji left his guru's ashram in mid-50s. One day, Swami Shivanandji called him and said, Rishikesh and Divine Life Society is too small for you. You should go out and express yourself, serve humanity, find a bigger scope there. And he gave him the mandate, spread yoga door to door and shore to shore. And then Paramahansa Swami Satyanandji said, but I have never attended any of your yoga class. I don't know any yoga practice. Yes, true, because he was working so hard he was doing work of 4 persons in administrative and editing and translating Swami Shivananda's lectures from English to Hindi and typing it, making it ready for the world, because all other Swamis were Tamilians and English speaking. He was the only North Indian who could speak Hindi. And kitchen, and like that, there were so many duties for him. And he had no chance, no time to attend to yoga classes. So Shivanandji said, okay, come with me. And he spent 10 minutes and gave him Shaktipat, transferred his own knowledge and energy into Satyam. And then he blessed him, Digvijayi Bhava, be the conqueror of the world. That means be Vijayi, be successful in spreading yoga from shore to shore and door to door. And so he started his Parivrajak life. About 8-9 years, he roamed around the subcontinent of India, that is India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Burma, Bangladesh, Ceylon, like that, just to know what are the needs of people, how do they live, what they understand, what is their culture, so that he can present yoga in the way they understand. In his Parivrajak life, once he was in Munger, sitting on Karnachora. Karnachora in Munger was a small hillock on the bank of river Ganga. And it was named Karnachora because all of you know Karna of Mahabharat, the Kunti Putra Danvir Karna. So Karna was the king of Anga Pradesh, which is where Munger is situated. He used to give his dhan, his charity, sitting in that place. So when he was meditating, when Swami Satyanandji was meditating on that hillock of Karnachora, he got a revelation. A divine being came and told him, this is the place from where yoga will spread. And he said, yoga is the heritage of yesterday, science of today, and culture of tomorrow. With this, again, he continued with his parivraja, and in 1963, when he was again in Munger and meditating on that hillock, by the way, that same hillock where Karnachora is now currently situated the Bihar School of Yoga, Ganga Darshan Parisar, Ganga Darshan campus. So when he was at Karnachora meditating, facing Ganga, he visualized his guru, Swami Shivanandji, standing in a boat and moving away, departing, with a hand mudra of blessings, of Ashirvad. So he felt that maybe my guru has taken samadhi. He confirmed it from Rishikesh ashram, and that was so. And it is a mandate to a parivrajak sannyasi that when he comes to know about the samadhi of his guru, wherever he is, he should settle down at that place. So he started Bihar School of Yoga in Munger. And a local family, Goenka family, helped him with the property. They donated him property to start an ashram there. Now, let us see what are his contributions to the field of yoga, to the Yoga Vidya. As mandate given by his guru, he tried his best, and he successfully did so, of spreading the yoga from door to door and shore to shore. So all over India, if you go in Far East, Japan, Korea, then another continent, if you see New Zealand, Australia, then other side, if you come back to India and go Middle East, all the Islamic countries he went to, and there were followers, there were disciples who are still coming regularly to the ashram. And then Russia, Kazakhstan, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, you name it, and whole of the Europe, Spain, Greece, Italy, France, England, Ireland, everywhere his ashrams were established, and there were big followers, the sannyasis looking after the local sannyasis, the Italians will look after Italy ashram, like that. And then in Africa, South Africa, Egypt, South America, Colombia, and Uruguay, Chile, and North America, and Canada, USA, everywhere he was so successful in spreading message of his guru. All of you know about his biggest gift to the world, that is Yoga Nidra. I won't say he invented, but he dug out Yoga Nidra from the scriptures and presented to us in this format. Yoga Nidra, the seeds were planted when he was in his guru's ashram in Rishikesh. He was looking after or guarding a neighboring ashram of small children learning Veda. When his guru went out for a few days, he was supposed to be looking after, guarding them in the night, and when they get up early in the morning at 3 o'clock, Swami Satyanandji Paramahansi would take a nap for a couple of hours before starting his day. So when he would take that nap, the children would, after their morning shower and all that, will start chanting their Vedas, and he would hear them when he was lying down, he was sleeping. After a few days, when these children had the annual day of the ashram and they chanted all the mantras of Veda, he realized that though he has not studied, he knows all of them. And that is what clicked him, that when a person is sleeping lightly, the subconscious mind takes everything, imbibes everything, and stores it. And that is the main basis of practice of Yoga Nidra. Okay, so going back to his contribution, Yoga Nidra, and then he studied scriptures, yogic scriptures and tantric scriptures, and he found out many practices, brought them and presented them in a way we understand, in our language, in modern men can understand. He systematized them, made them stepwise, and classified them. So, starting from Shat Karmas, from Shankha Prakshalan, he brought out Laku Shankha Prakshalan, now even mini Laku Shankha Prakshalan. Like that, he made it very easy to follow for us. Shat karmas, asana, pranayams, mudra and bandh. Nobody was teaching mudras and bandhas. Very few, if at all, were teaching pranayam in his time, in 60s and 50s and in 70s. So he did that. And those who have read his book, Asana Pranayam Mudra Bandh, popularly known as FPMB, you will know how well they are presented and classified. Not only asana pranayam practices, but also pratyahara and dharana practices from Tantra and from yogic Upanishads. You can refer to sure ways of self-realization and meditation from Tantras. See, all our books are freely available on the Satyam Yoga Prasad app. Anybody can read and enjoy it. So all these were presented by him. And not only this, but also Kriya Yoga practices he started. He also, remember integral yoga of his Guru Swami Shivanandaji? He developed it and presented it as a yoga chakra. And actually, very few knew about it, even in his time, and now his successor has made it more popular, and we'll see about it a little later. So he started Yoga Chakra and developed integral yoga. He also started research. At that time, only 2 institutes were doing research in yoga. Swami Kuvalyanand's Kaivalyadham, they were doing mainly physiology research, but Paramahansi started research in yoga therapy. And then slowly he went into psychology and the brain studies, and even up to pranic studies using Kirlian photography with a Japanese collaboration. And he also started applying yoga practices on a social ground, not only for individual, but say for coal mineries and for government officers and like that. Yoga for children, there are 2 big successes in Europe and in North America. The French Swami Yoga Bhakti, started RYE, Research in Yoga and Education. And with this, she made it yoga regular or compulsory, not only in France but all over Europe. Every school, every child will have little yoga. And similarly, Swami Rishi Arundhati in North America, she's from Canada, and in all over North America, she started a movement, YES, YES, yoga education in schools. So, in a big way, all over the world, Satyanand Yoga or Bihar Yoga tradition became very popular. But after 20 years, he said, well, my guru's mandate is over and now I will leave this. And he wanted to renounce. So he called his successor Swami Niranjan. Now his birth is also a very big story. Uh, when Swami Niranjan's mother and father had gone to Divine Life Society for mantra initiation, his mother, what we call her Amaji, she hesitated taking mantra diksha from Swami Shivanandaji because she was, and her eyes were fixed on a young Swami Satyananda working in the background. And Swami Shivanandaji smiled and said, your guru will come to your home to give you initiation. And that is what happened. Because Swami Satyanandaji was only Hindi speaking person, when he was living, Swami Shivanandaji told him to contact these people who always asked for a Hindi speaking Swami for satsang and yoga programs. So he went there, and she became the first disciple of Swami Shivanandaji. And their home became a kind of center for him during his Parivrajak life. These people somehow couldn't get children. 6-7 times they lost their child. So once they had gone to Gangotri, and Swami Satyanandaji invoked and invited a soul to take birth in this family. And that is how Swami Niranjan was born. And at the age of 4, he left his parents, chit karke, being stubborn. No, I'm not going to stay here. I want to be with my guru. Imagine, just 4-year-old child. And he was in the ashram, and since then he stayed in ashram. At the age of 10, he was initiated into sannyas. Of course, we'll see about him little later. Let us finish Swami Satyananda's story. So, 83, Swami Niranjan was running an ashram in the USA. He called him back and made him president of Bihar School of Yoga and his successor. Swami Niranjan said, for the last 12 years, I'm roaming all over the world. I have not been in India for 12 years. I hardly know people here, so please stay on to train me. So he gave him 5 years, and on 8th August 1988, Paramahamsa left with nothing in the hand except 108 rupees and 2 sets of clothes, one he was wearing, one in the bag. And while roaming around, he did his Chaturmas in Trambakeshwar, Nasik. There he got his revelation. He was directed to go to Rikhya, which is very close to Baba Baidyanath Dham on Jharkhand, Jyotirling, one of the 12 Jyotirling. So Rikhya is at the periphery of Baidyanath Dham. And he settled there and to start his sannyas life of sadhana. So Rikhya is his tapobhumi, and Munger was his karmabhumi. So in Rikhya he did many tapasyas. I'll just tell you 2. Ajapa Japa Siddhi he got. That means with every breath he was aware of his mantra with every breath, day and night. As a Kabir Doha says, Aisa jap japo manalai, soham surta gai, 21,600 jap, anhaduk jap apo. This 21,600 to 21,600 are the number of breaths that a human being average takes during 24 hours, and with every breath there should be one mantra remembrance, and he could do that ultimately. And another sadhana was Panchakni, where he was sitting and within the radius of 1 foot apart from his body, so that he can put the wood in the fire. There were 4 fires, and the 5th fire of sun on top. For 6 months, from Makar Sankranti 14th January till next 6 months, almost till Guru Purnima in July, mid-July. And you all of you know the sun of Bihar and Jharkhand, how hard it is. So that he did it for 10 years. So this was his sadhana, and during his sadhana it was revealed to him, serve, love, give, of his Guru's teachings, that you look after your neighbors as I have looked after you. So he started serve, love, give, living and preaching. And there are many projects. Of course, we really don't have time to go into that detail, but it's a very beautiful thing to know. Maybe sometime in future we'll know about his life in Rikya. And in 2009 he took his Mahasamadhi, knowing, telling beforehand, I'm going at this time, this day, like that. And he chanted Om, and he took his prana up and out through Brahmarandra. So coming to Swami Niranjan, yes, before taking Mahasamadhi, he had instructed Swami Niranjan that, well, I have established head, that is Munge, looking after the head, the thinking, the mind. And I have also established heart, Rikya, serve, love, give. Now you have to start something for the hands, start a sannyas pit. So sannyas pit was born in Munger along with Bihar School of Yoga, but different premise. So Swami Niranjan at the age of 4 came to live with his guru in the ashram. At the age of 10 he got his sannyas diksha. At the age of 11 he left India to look after various ashrams all over the world, starting from England and Ireland to South America, to Australia, to Europe, everywhere. For 12 years he was traveling and managing the ashrams. Ultimately, he started a new ashram in North America, USA. And that is when he was called back to, that we have already seen, that he was called back to India, and he was made president of Bihar School of Yoga in 83, 88 Paramhansi left Mumbai. So Swami Niranjan's contributions are also very big. He continued to propagate yoga and deepening the connection already existing between the different ashrams and the main ashram. He also worked a lot on social applications, like in jail for addiction, and there are many such areas where army, where he encouraged. There were teachers of Bihar state, all the teachers of schools of Bihar state were coming to Munger ashram for yoga training so that they can teach yoga in their school. Similarly, in Medical College of Bihar also, yoga was introduced to as a subject at undergraduate level. He established Bal Yoga Mitra Mandal in 1995. It's a yoga movement for children only, and there are millions of members where Bal Yoga Mitra Mandal is of yoga of children, for children, by children. So only children teach other children. Children are teachers. And it's a very successful movement. He also established academic side of Bihar Yoga Bharati, or university, the first university, deemed university of yoga. As I already mentioned, he started Sannyas Pit, which motive is to inculcate good sanskaras in every human being and train sannyasis for the propagation and for the service of humanity. And mind you, even Paramhansi used only sannyasis as yoga teachers. He trained only sannyasis to be yoga teachers. Of course, householder as a third generation, fourth generation got trained and became yoga teachers. That's a different story. But the main training was only sannyasis to spread yoga, and that is why I think the movement was so successful, because there were no selfish motives of the teachers. Swami Niranjan also um, established Yoga Publication Trust to print the books. Of course, we were printing, but the ashram was printing. Now it's a separate organization within the ashram who looks after the publications. And he has now started Satyam Yoga Prasad. It's a really a prasad. It's a free distribution of books. Whoever visits ashram, whatever they want, how many number of books they want, they are given free. And now on app also, all the publications, all the audios and videos, satsangs, kirtans, everything is available free for the whole world. And currently, as you know, he has also started a new app called FFH for frontline heroes, for people like you who are working with COVID patients and who need yoga to keep them healthy physically and mentally. He also developed dharnas from Vedas and Upanishads. The best contribution that I like is his Swan meditation. SWAN also stands for Swami Niranjan, but it stands for strength, weakness, ambition, and need. We are analyzing our own strength, weakness, ambition, and need in this meditation. He also encouraged observing the day at the bedtime and writing spiritual diary, so that these are the basic practice of Jnana Yoga, to know yourself, to know the life, so that you can worship and develop better qualities so that you can worship the life. He also started 3 mantras to when you wake up, chant 3 mantras. I will really not go into detail because I've overshot the time. And he said there are 4 stages of practicing yoga. One is yoga practice, when you are practicing for your own motive. I want to be healthy, I want to be thin, whatever. That's your aim. That is yoga practitioner. Then yoga sadhaks they are practicing yoga for the aim of that branch of yoga. Like Raja Yoga, they are practicing for Chitta Vritti Nirodh, for example. But he highly now recommends the lifestyle yoga, that you have to live yoga all the time, not in a half an hour or 1 hour every day and forget about it all through the day, combining integral yoga all through your life. And that when that happens, really happens, when your effort is over and you have imbibed it, your sanskaras have changed, it becomes yoga culture. So lifestyle yoga, lifestyle is the emphasis currently. He has also introduced new yama and niyama from different scriptures and made it available, recommendable to us. So currently he is working on 2nd chapter of Bihar School of Yoga, which is not therapy, which is not teaching yoga anywhere, preparing yoga teachers, but it is for yoga sadhak to deepen the experience of every yoga practice that they do, starting from asana and pranayam. You experience asana at 5 koshas level, different levels. He is taking us that deep, and also every other practice, and he's making yoga chakra, presenting us in a way we can follow and practice it. And of course, Sannyas Pita, I have already spoken what it is doing. So these are and he, of course, he is also doing Panchakni Sadhana like his guru. So I think I have already taken a lot of time. I'm happy, and there are so many more things to tell, but some other time, even this much, if we can digest, imbibe, sufficient. Hari Om, Namaste, have a good day. And thank you, Dr. Anand and the team of PGIMER Yoga Scholars for giving me this chance. Thank you.